Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. This is the Poco X4 Pro 5G. If you talk about the box contents, you get all the normal stuff. First up, you get a sleeve with the SIM card ejector tool, some paperwork and a clear transparent case. Apart from that, there is the smartphone itself in this laser black color. I am going to keep it aside for a moment and let's see what else do we get inside the box. Next up, you get a 67-watt fast charger inside the box itself. Yes, in a world where everyone is removing chargers, Poco is providing you with a 67-watt fast charger. That is incredible. Finally, you have the USB Type-C cable. So those were the box contents. It's now time to get back to the smartphone and let's remove the plastic, shall we? So this is it. This is the Poco X4 Pro 5G in this laser black color and it looks absolutely stunning in this color. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this smartphone for a couple of days and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, welcome back. This is it. This is the Poco X4 Pro 5G in this laser black color. Now last year Poco did a very good job with the Poco X3 Pro. It brought in the very powerful Snapdragon 860 processor under 20,000 rupees and that was incredible. Poco did a very good job with the Poco X3 Pro. But this year, they are not going with a performance-centric smartphone. Like, it's not the best out there in terms of performance, neither it is the best out there in terms of camera. It's a very well-balanced and all-around smartphone, and that's what they're going for this year with the Poco X4 Pro 5G. Let's start by talking about the design and build quality. Now, I have always been a fan of Poco smartphones in terms of their design. They definitely stand out, especially with that camera module. This camera module, like this rectangular camera module, looks absolutely stunning in my opinion, and this is something different. Like, you will instantly realize that it's a Poco smartphone. If you talk about the in-hand feel, this smartphone does not feel bulky at all, as opposed to last year where Poco X3 Pro felt a little bit bulkier in the hand. That's not the case with the Poco X4 Pro. It's a very comfortable smartphone. Also, it comes with squared off edges. Now, I am not a fan of squared off edges. I would much rather have a curved back panel because that fits more comfortably in the hand. So yeah, that's a thing that I do not like. If we talk about color options, I think the black one is the best out there because it looks very classy, and my second favorite color is that yellow one. That yellow one looks really amazing and it's something that stands out. So you can go with either of them, but I would recommend the black one because black is as always classy. Now Poco has not cheaped out in terms of the build quality. You get Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the front and you also get an IP53 rating. So yeah, at this price point, Poco is giving you very good build quality. It feels like a premium and solid smartphone. It is not cheap by any means. It is now time to talk about what lies under the hood. So Poco X4 Pro is powered by the Snapdragon 695 processor. This is a 5G processor. Along with that, you get a couple of options: 6GB or 8GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 64 or 128GB of UFS 2.2 storage. If you talk about the battery capacity, it's a 5000 mAh battery with support for 67-watt fast charging, and yes, you do get the charger inside the box itself. On the software side of things, this smartphone comes with MIUI 13 out of the box based on Android 11. Yes, Android 11 out of the box is very disappointing. It should have been Android 12, but that's not the case. So if someone from Poco is watching this, please push out the Android 12 update because that is very important, and Android 12 has been out there for quite a bit. Alright, now let's address the elephant in the room, that is Snapdragon 695. Snapdragon 695 is not the best processor out there and it clearly showcases the chaos that is going on in the chipset market. You all have heard about the chipset shortage and you can clearly see that with the options available in the market right now. Last year there were some really good options in terms of chipsets, but this year there are not a lot of options and Snapdragon 695 is a prime example of that. Don't get me wrong, it is a very good processor and you will get very good performance out of it for the price. It is a 5G processor as well, but you cannot shoot 4K videos with it. I don't know what's the problem over here, but you cannot shoot 4K videos in this smartphone. Neither can you shoot 4K videos with the Redmi Note 10 Pro or Pro Max. So that is kind of disappointing, and also the naming scheme is very weird. But nevertheless, the performance of the processor is very good. Day-to-day tasks like checking your email, replying to WhatsApp messages, scrolling through Instagram Reels, watching YouTube videos or editing photos on Lightroom, everything works very smooth with this processor. It does not throttle as well and you are getting a smooth experience over here. On top of that, Poco has done a good job in terms of optimizing the software for this smartphone. MIUI 13 is working very well on the smartphone and I have not noticed any major bugs so far. It is a smooth and clean experience as well. You only get like a couple of pre-installed applications, you do not get ads, and Poco has done a good job in terms of the software experience. I do like it. It's just that it should have been Android 12. That's the only complaint I have in terms of software. Alright, moving on, let's talk about that beautiful display. This smartphone comes with a full HD plus AMOLED display with a refresh rate of 120Hz. Not only that, the touch sampling rate is 360Hz and the overall scrolling and swiping around experience is buttery smooth. 120Hz refresh rate is a big fat thumbs up from my side. Everything feels very smooth and fast because of that 120Hz refresh rate. Also, Snapdragon 695 is easily capable of handling the 120Hz refresh rate. I have not seen any major frame drops whatsoever. Now, if you talk about the panel quality itself, it is top notch. It comes with a peak brightness of 1200 nits. Yes, 1200 nits. That means outdoor visibility is not an issue. You also get very good colors, deep blacks, that great contrast ratio, and the media viewing experience on this smartphone is next level. If you like to consume a lot of content on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar, or YouTube, then you are in for a treat with this display. The display quality is excellent. So yeah, overall a job well done to the Poco team in terms of the display. Now, if you talk about the cameras, you get a triple camera setup on the rear side, a 64 megapixel primary camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and finally a 2 megapixel macro camera. On the front side of things, you get a 16 megapixel selfie shooter. If you talk about the photos are good. As far as my initial impressions go, the photos are turning out to be good. They're a little bit on the contrasty side, like the contrast is a little bit more. If you talk about dynamic range is impressive. Shadows and highlights are exposed in the right way. You also get good colors. The colors are not too oversaturated and not too undersaturated as well. I like the colors from this smartphone. Also, the ultra wide angle camera brings in a very good perspective. You can fit more in the frame and the perspective is top notch. The ultra wide angle photos are a little bit soft. I would have loved to see some more sharpness in the ultra wide angle photos. If you talk about selfie, the selfie camera is good over here. You do get good skin tones, the photos are detailed, and the dynamic range is okayish. The photos turn out to be pleasing to the eye and the portrait mode is really good as well. The edge detection and background blur is natural. Now, if you talk about the macro camera, that's something which is very disappointing and should not have been there. Like, the macro camera is severely disappointing. Now, this is a quick front camera video test with the Poco X4 Pro 5G. And one weird thing that I noticed with this smartphone is that it does not come with a night mode for the ultra wide angle camera. Night mode is only available for the main camera, and that is kind of disappointing. So yeah, night mode is not available. But you guys let me know about the front camera video quality as well as the audio quality of the smartphone. Let me know about it in the comments down below. All in all, I'm going to say this is a good camera setup, but it could have been better because it does not have 4K video recording. Neither does it have 1080p 60 FPS. That is extremely weird. Now, if you talk about other little things, this smartphone comes with the headphone jack. It also comes with an IR blaster. Basically, you can use this smartphone as a remote for your appliances, and that is a very convenient and handy feature. As far as the speakers go, you get a set of stereo speakers and the quality is top notch. The volume levels are good and the sound does not distort. It is clear sound and I do like the speakers on this smartphone. So basically, you get a very good media viewing experience with this smartphone. The display is top notch, the speakers are good, and you also get the headphone jack. That is a complete setup. Now, what about the pricing? This smartphone starts at 18,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Do not buy that variant because 64GB ROM is very less in 2022. I would recommend you to go with the 128GB option because that is much better. Basically, that option will cost you 19,000 rupees, and for that price, I'm going to say Poco X4 Pro is a very good smartphone. And if you want to buy it, I'll make sure to drop a link to it in the description box below. So anyway, that's been it. This was my unboxing and initial impressions of the Poco X4 Pro 5G. Do let me know how you feel about this video in the comment section down below. If you like this content, go and hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.